Today I'm kind of here to sing all his praises, but also to hype up that man known as Pirate King Buggy for several reasons. But wow, things, the balance is maintained. And you might be asking, what are you talking about, Brago? What about this balance? Well, this is what we're gonna get into today, and how Oda is a freaking genius and how he goes out of his way to maintain balance.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
From anime to movies to commercials, food has always been made to look great, and because of One Piece, I've always wondered what it would be like to be on the Thousand Sunny eating Sanji's amazing cooking every day. However, what if you could have that quality of food delivered right to your doorstep every week? Well, not from Sanji, but look no further than today's sponsor, Factor. So, Factor provides chef-created meals that are fresh, never frozen, and designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium, science-backed nutritional quality. So no more meal prep, no more dishes, no more unhealthy fast food. Factor offers the most convenient way to eat well while eating right. Factor's menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and 34 plus add-on options. Every time I had long periods of consistency in the gym, I felt absolutely great about getting that workout done. But every time I drove back home, the fast food drive-thrus always tempted me with burgers, chicken nuggets, Oreo-flavored ice creams, and don't get me started on the donuts, okay? I mean, you thought I liked category for nothing, but I would have been so much better off knowing I had a delicious and healthy pre-made meal waiting for me when I got home. You might already have a strict diet. You could be a vegan or a vegetarian. Maybe you're on keto, or maybe you're a pescatarian. Factor covers everything. And listen, not everybody is a health expert, so why not take stress of meal prepping and research out of your hands and leave it up to Factor? Factor completely cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes. It's taking the guesswork out of what to make for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and improving your fitness. It starts with food, and Factor makes it possible for you to achieve your daily goals through nutritious, purposeful eating, okay? Ingredients with integrity and dietitian approved. So guys, don't wait. Head to go.factor75.com, use code POGBDA130 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. Hope I convinced you, because Factor is really amazing. Link in description below. We're not going to power scale today, all right? Honestly, I try to avoid power scaling nowadays as much as possible, but we got to talk about how Oda uses these characters in a masterful way to maintain in some way the balance of the world. And again, you may be wondering what I'm talking about. We'll get into it right now. So there will be spoilers for chapter 1056, so please be mindful. If you don't care about being spoiled, you read the chapter, then we can move forward. So we now know for a fact, Buggy, the main reason why he became a Yonko is that he has established a system in which he has pirates under his flag, those pirates being Crocodile and Mihawk. I talked about this. Yeah, I talked about this last month when we found out Buggy was a Yonko. I was like, hey, the only way Buggy can become a Yonko is if he took all the warlords under his fleet. Well, at least Mihawk. He needed Mihawk because of what Mihawk represents. But I think just to put this in perspective, we have to understand what has to be done here and what the purpose of what's being done here. So when we first found out Buggy became a Yonko, it was a lot of dismay from some of the fandom, because it was like, how can Buggy pull this off? Some people were speculative about just how Buggy taints the Yonko title just because of what people felt like it meant. But Oda's been always clear about the Yonko title being not only about strength, but more so influence, to the point that even in the Ace novel, it was clear that warlords are somewhat close to Yonko in regards to influence and how much they had on the world, right? Because it's about your impact on the world, not always about strength. Sometimes you can make more impact by just having influence rather than having strength, because you can influence a large amount of people. Roger is not the GOAT because of how strong he was. It's a part of it, but Roger is the GOAT because of how much influence he had and starting a great new era. With Buggy, I'm not saying he's going to be the Pirate King, but his influence is growing to a level that really cannot be contained anymore. And so from Oda's perspective, this is how I'm rationalizing, right? Big Mom and Kaido, they go poof. And when we say poof, we have no idea. Literally, they just disappear and vanish. One chapter, they're there, they're in the lava, then the next chapter, they're not even mentioned. They have not been mentioned since they were apparently defeated or killed, whatever the hell you think it is. So now we have the subscribe button, right? Where you gotta click that button if you're not subscribed. And you know what I'm saying? Look down, make sure you are. Sometimes you watch a few videos, don't even realize you're not subscribed. Click that button, drop a like. I would certainly appreciate it. But now we have 2 open spots. Luffy was obviously one because he was damn near acclaimed as a Yonko before he was officially heralded as one. So he's like, okay, we got to slot him into that spot, even though we're covering it up a bit by having Law and Kid with the same bounty, right? You could easily have slotted in Law or Kid, I think more so Kid, because he had more prominent members under him, and say Kid is a Yonko as well. Cool. No, they decided against that because for Oda, he's trying to establish not only what the Yonko means, right? Just throw it in your face, but also have fun with it. And using a character like Buggy is how we can maintain this fun while also being more creative with the story. So here we have it, right? Buggy is now a Yonko. How he became a Yonko. He has 2 very prominent members with influence of their own under him, right? So again, Buggy being a warlord, very influential, started his own thing, but we knew that Crocodile, he was starting to run the underworld for the most part. And Mihawk, obviously being the world's strongest swordsman, he had a lot of acclaim on his own. So if you manage to subjugate, and I use that term as loose as possible, Mihawk and Crocodile, you are now matching, I think, each Yonko in regards to overall fighting strength, because not only the people that Crocodile still have with him with Daz Bones, etc., but also Mihawk and his baboons. Like, you can't even discount those guys. No, seriously, why I say Oda's a genius with this move is because, again, he gets to be creative with a character like Bucky and keep a fan favorite like that in the story and relevant, because I think him and Luffy are destined to work together again. But also, you incorporate 2 prominent fan favorites that we cannot wait to see again, and it also somewhat makes Buggy's claim to the throne, the Yonko throne, a lot more credible, and also no one can just walk through these combatants. So again, the Yonko right now are Luffy, Shanks, Blackbeard, and Buggy. I always felt like obviously Luffy has a massive fleet, strong fighters. Shanks might have the strongest crew right now, and Blackbeard, he is coming. Buggy, he felt like he was on the outside looking in. So what does Oda do? He, in a lot of people's opinion, not only gave Buggy a Yonko caliber fighter as his proposed right hand, sorry Kabaji, he also gave him Crocodile, someone who's a commander caliber, top commander caliber fighter as his second commander, right? And so you have Crocodile and Mihawk, Crocodile with more so influence, Mihawk with the more so fighting strength. No one is easily walking through Buggy and his fleet anymore. Granted, most people probably see through this facade, knowing, if you know Mihawk and you know Crocodile, you see through it, and they're using Buggy and his influence, and there's no way they're listening to him. Now, for the most part, just because of the type of men they are, based on what we've seen from Mihawk and Crocodile, he didn't even want to join up with Doflamingo, because of Doflamingo would probably try to subjugate him and make him a number 2 as opposed to equals, even though that's what he was presenting. And for Mihawk, we know how Mihawk moves and how he operates, but oh my gosh, what a way to balance the world. Of course, this was the only way I felt like it would make sense, by him, Mihawk, going under Buggy. Like, he needed these characters to, again, add some credibility to his claim, and honestly, the world government, they needed somebody to replace Big Mom and Kaido ASAP. What a better way than to have a Yonko caliber fighter that I believe in Mihawk join someone like Buggy in addition to Crocodile with his influence, and Crocodile is very strong as well. It fortifies the claim. It makes so much sense. I love it. But here's the thing. People are using these things to somewhat downplay Mihawk and say, Mihawk, hey, he's as strong as Shanks, he is someone's subordinate. He's as strong as Shanks, he's someone's subordinate. You guys know that's BS. That doesn't make any sense if you try to say that, because we know how Oda's setting these things up, and he's the main reason why this is possible. Again, how I picture things is literally we have the 4 Yonko, right? You know, the typical 4 Yonko thing that Oda has with Shanks and Luffy and Blackbeard, you know, just all right above each other, right next to each other. What I see is Shanks, Pirates, Luffy, Blackbeard, Buggy, and even in that same picture, Mihawk right behind him, because Mihawk is the fighting force accompanying Buggy's influence, right? He can compete with any of the current Yonko caliber fighters in the verse. That is my opinion. You guys can agree to disagree, but that is my opinion. We've been crying for bounty hunters, and Buggy, I think, and Buggy right now is doing so much of Lord Usopp's work by, you know, the creation of cross guilds, kind of forcing Mihawk into a position in which he has to be active, but also creating this bounty system for Marines. So these interactions, these matchups are destined to happen now, right? So I don't know if Oda's listening to us, right? Oda came and watched our videos about bounty hunters and how that was 100% an overlooked point in the One Piece story. Oda is correcting all that with 1 or 2 simple moves, okay? And I think this is masterful in its setup because, bro, putting bounties on Marines' heads is so next level, but so necessary is that the hunter becomes the hunted. And remember, Mihawk was talking about that. It's been a long time since I've been the hunted. So now Oda flips it on his head and say, you know what? Let's make you the hunter again while you're being hunted. It is masterful. Masterwork. Normally I say nasty work. This is masterwork, okay? Buggy's legend is growing, and I cannot wait to see where this actually goes, because this guy, he may get, again, I speculate that Buggy will at some point sit on the empty throne. Like that's inevitable in my opinion. But what is the goal of Cross Guild? Where is the potential? Like, does this mean that they will be joining Luffy in the final war? Because Buggy will be fighting with Luffy again, right? Even, albeit reluctantly, he will be fighting alongside Luffy. This sets up Luffy's final battle, because if Buggy's fighting with him, Crocodile's already fought with him, Mihawk somewhat is on the fence, and again, his main goal is pretty much fighting Zoro. So, hey, let's dispose of everyone else, then we can have our fight. Just because, here's the thing, in the final war, if Zoro's already fought Mihawk, and then he's struggling against people like Fujitora or even Kizaru, who are swordsmen, it'll be like, okay, Zoro is the world's greatest swordsman. He just beat Mihawk. Why is he struggling against Fujitora? Yes, Fujitora has a bunch of outside elements with his gravity, etc., but we have a certain level of expectation for Mihawk. So that's why I think Zoro's fight probably could come after the final war, where everything is rectified. And for Mihawk, you know, he decides to have these things at specific locations, specific arrangements, he's more of a traditionalist, right? He's gonna wine and dine you, he's gonna have the candlelight, he's gonna have the flowers, he's gonna have the boat on the ocean. That's what Mihawk wants. Because with V-Star, it's kind of like, no, let's fight this at a better, more appropriate time, not in the middle of a war. So I wonder if Mihawk and V-Star ever fought, actually. That's something that we should probably talk about. No, it would be cool if that happened off screen, I'm not gonna lie. And then Oda shows us at some point. Either way, this is one of the best developments for the final war, because I think this ultimately sets up Marines versus Pirates, and Mihawk, Buggy, and Crocodile. They're going to be on the same side fighting with the Straw Hats against the Marines, and Oda is setting up new Marines, new organizations, new factions within the Marines. What do you have to do though? You have to give them a W. You have to give Cross Guild a W against the Marines, meaning I'm not saying an admiral, maybe an admiral, a candidate, that they actually accomplish things by taking out like someone prominent. Not talking about Stainless, not talking about father that was sent after me. I need someone with a bigger name, right? Someone bigger. But guys, that sounded weird. I'm not. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about all this? Oda is out of this world. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Again, guys, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite